Welcome back to Conversations That Build. Your host, as always, Bergeline Daniel, the podcast where we explore the stories, the mindsets, and the moment that shaped extraordinary people. Today's guest is someone passionate about helping people live with intention, prioritize their well-being, and become the healthiest version of themselves. Help me welcome Miss Dali Valcin. Thank you, Dali, for being here today. I really appreciate it. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Darlie, your favorite life coach, and a little bit about my journey and how I got here, like you said, Virgiline. So I started off as a social worker. I worked in that field. I was definitely passionate about helping people. However, the space that I was in, I felt stuck, like limited in the organization as well. So with a lot of reflecting, prayer, and just learning more about myself and who I wanted to be, I created my life. And now I do all things mind, body, and soul, health and wellness, and basically like a life enhancement wherever you are. If you're stuck, healing, mental health, career advancement, personal development, dating, matchmaking, corporate workshops, anything you need, I got you.
Miss Dali, you were talking about like you being a life, empowerment girl.
Yes.
So who is Dali without all those titles?
That's who I am. I always say that I'm honestly my brand. I'm who I am. Like what I practice or what I preach, I actually practice as my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So all of like setting the healthy boundaries, self-care, always taking care of myself, loving myself, always open to learning new things or different experiences. So I felt like within that, like that's just who I am. But without like the title, I would say I'm very family oriented. I love spending time with my friends. What else do I like? I like yoga. So without the title, yeah, that's what I do.
So you were still
and traveling as well. I love traveling.
Oh, you love traveling.
Yes.
Okay. So you said your what you do is your brain is you.
Yes.
So how did you become? I know it's not something that we have to do like just one day.
Oh, no.
You just wake up like that. But so how did you become like who you are now? So what did you have to let go to become the woman that who are here and teaching others on how to do for themselves?
I had to let go a lot of self-doubt, feeling like I'm not good enough to do certain things. I had to build my confidence. I had to kind of train my mind to have that growth mindset where rejection is okay. And I can it's not really rejection. It's just like, that's not the opportunity for me. So I have to say, a lot of prayer.
Yeah. You mentioned that before.
And then, also practices that I've, learned over the way as well. Just having those practices, my morning routine. I have a bedtime routine. I set healthy boundaries with people around me. I have certain standards and guidelines that I go by. And this is what I teach and educate my clients to, because a lot of it, people think that, they have to sit there and wait for people to do things for them. If you want anything in life, if you don't get up and do it yourself, it will never get done. And if you place your happiness in other people, you will never be happy. So when I started to be like, oh my goodness, like I don't need anybody to bring me happiness. I can fulfill that on my own. And I just want people around me to add value. But again, it always starts with your mind, like without like transforming and changing. And also the key is being around people who are going to support you and who wants you to win. So you have to surround your people with people who are going to pour into you. So that's why I started the empowerment events, because I learned on the way when I made my transformation from a life coach from a social worker to a life coach. It was difficult. I was like, I know I feel stuck right now. I even went through depression. It was not a good, and I didn't even know I was depressed. Like I didn't even know until I got over it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this whole time I was sitting in sadness, in misery, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. I can say if you didn't overcome this, you couldn't understand other people.
Yes.
So this just teach you how to help like anyone like who face this situation or anything like that. So like you said, you have to be around people
Yes.
that help you and people that believe in you, that push you, people that they are positive all the time.
Yes.
So they don't have to every time you go through something, so they don't how can we say that, like support you to stay where you at, but pushing you to become better, like the better version of you.
Yeah. And I always say that's something that I do. I'm helping people to become the better version of themselves, because if I'm doing it and I feel so much freedom, so much relief, and so much peace, then I want everybody to experience that, because if we have more people at peace, we will have less conflict, right? Less violence. So that's what I'm really trying to do, is just make that bigger impact. So, you know, everybody can feel the goodness that we actually have on this world. People always want to be negative, but there's good too.
Yeah. So like you said, how do you find about like what you want me to be like you want me to be a life coach? You want me to help others?
I believe my superpower is that I'm blessed to help people make transformational changes. But within that, like, honestly, I really didn't know I was supposed to be a social worker, but from being a social worker, it fell right into, like, it was just a perfect transition. Some people like go from like accounting to baking, like, but mine was like, you know, it's still kind of the same thing. I'm still helping people, guiding them resources, tips, accountability. So it just worked really well as I transformed. But, a little funny, story is that, my guilty pleasure. I watched the reality, like the Real Housewives, and one of them like had a life coach, and I was watching it with my mother, and then she was like, you know what, you could be a life coach. And I'm like, and this was 2 years before I made the transition to life coaching, when I felt stuck, and I'm like, girl, what are you going to do? Because you can't stay here forever. Like, you can't be in these feelings forever. And I'm like, girl, what are you going to do? So in my mind, when I finally pivot, it was like, I'd rather die trying. I'd rather figure it out, what it looks like to stay here and be miserable. And ever since then, I just been going, and I never look back. And every single time I want to give up, I'm like, thinking to myself, I cannot go back to that place. So I'm on that bike and I keep rolling. Even if I have to cry a little bit, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna take a break, but baby, I'm gonna keep going. Okay.
We get
no GPS, but I'm gonna find a way.
Yes.
So
that's true. That's the mentality that you're supposed to have.
Yes. Yes. So I always say that, us as people, so going back, I know a lot of us as individuals, sometimes we rather, either fight or work hard for other organizations or companies, but we will fight and work hard for ourselves. Yes. So I'm like, if I'm going to put all that work into somebody else growing their business, why wouldn't I create my own? And from there, I had that mindset. So now it's just everything I do is just creating whatever I want to do and making a path.
Is it one of the beliefs that you have to break to become who you are now?
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself. Okay. You have to believe in yourself. You have to invest in yourself, because it's like, if you don't believe in yourself, why would you or expect anyone to believe in you? Right? So it all starts from like self-love and self-care. So I always go by the 3: self-care, self-love, and self-investment. You need those 3 to be a better version and a full version of yourself. Without taking care of yourself, without loving yourself and investing in yourself, I'm not sure how happy life is, right?
Okay, that's really true. If you don't believe in yourself, like nobody else gonna do it. Exactly. Because you're gonna believe everything that anybody have to say about, every opinion that they have to say about you. You're gonna accept them and just live with them. So that's why you have to believe in you and keep going And like you said, if you can spend 30, 40 years working for someone else, you can also do it for yourself because you are the ones who need to change. So if you want to change without action, so doesn't mean nothing. So looking back, what is the most what's something that you most grateful for, even though it was like a painful thing?
My transformation. I am so grateful for that push. If I didn't do that push, I mean, as it was a hard, right?
Yes.
But within that 2 years of figuring out, forming the foundation, I allowed myself to live a lot more and receive a lot of things and stop saying no and say, okay, well, if it doesn't hurt me or anybody else, I could try it, and see if I like it. And then from there, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of new, interesting hobbies that I learned, like padel ball. Like I tried that one time. It was pretty cool. So there's a lot of things. I went to a hockey game. So there's a lot of things that I've got to experience that's new and different that before I probably be like, no, I'm not going to know. I'm not going to do that because like, why? But then I tried, I'm like, hey, I could get down with this. So that's what I like doing.
Okay, so what is the first thing that you did? Like, for example, you say you were working in the social worker, like you said, like the mindset shape that you had that time when you said you don't want to work for that, like for the rest of your life, and you want to have something for yourself too. What is the first step you took? I mean, so to bring you here and like keep going. If you don't even want it, you can't give up, like you said. So, what is the first step that? Did you have to spend time with yourself or like
reflecting and also writing down what you want? Like what are going on in your thoughts? A lot of us, we have our mind is like the chords where we have like where it's all wrapped up and we're like, where does this start? Where does this end? So if you put all your thoughts down on paper, you brainstorm, then you can create, okay, this is the first step. A lot of us, we go into procrastination because our mind says, oh my goodness, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work, but you got to do everything. Life is all about baby steps. You can't eat a whole pizza at once. Like it doesn't make sense. So you got to eat slices, right? So
that's why they just do it.
Exactly. And that is what life is. You got to put things in digestible pieces. And the second thing was I needed to get, like, once I figured out what I wanted to do and I made a plan, now I'm like, okay, how am I going to get there? So I'm like, for example, if you're a doctor, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to be a doctor. You have to get the education. So I had to invest in myself. And I got a business coach to help me set the foundation of how to properly run and put establishments, marketing, HR. It was definitely a long journey, but I needed that information. I needed that knowledge. I always say knowledge is power. Always like do your research, do your Googles, also get a coach, get someone who knows what to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah.
You said that you also focus on wellness. How important is it, the connection between the physical health and the mental health?
It's all in alignment. Everything is always connected in your body. That's why if you work on your mind from when I first started, it was like the mindset I told you that I had to do. So I started working on my mind, but I'm like, okay, well, girl, what you gonna do for physical activity? And I'm like, okay, well, I used to join the gym. So I signed up every year for the gym. I go to the gym for like the first month. And then after that, I don't go anymore because it wasn't fulfilling. It was just like, I have to do it. But then with that transformation, I fell into yoga. And then that one got me excited. Like I was so like passionate about
it's
because
like an alignment. Like
yes. And then once I did it, and what really helped me is the instructor that I had. She was really like, and she's a Taurus too, so that's why we probably aligned because I'm a Taurus. But she helped me fall in love with yoga. And then once I do a session, I felt like clear. Like I felt all the stress and everything that I was going through, I could actually let it go. Like I don't have to hold on to it. So that's why I appreciate yoga, is because it helps me like honestly my mind, body, and soul like working all at the same time.
At the same time, yeah, that's true. I never tried, but I mean, I spend time alone.
Yeah.
And I listened to I listened to my thoughts, and I was like, I'm talking to myself. And I was like, now I got a clear mindset. I can answer to this question. I was asking myself, like, when you listen to too much voices and you're like, okay, no, I'm not listening to that. So I gotta spend time with myself. And now I will put my ideas clear. And each question, I got a paper, I write it down. I said, what am I gonna do next? What I have to work on? So what this. I mean, it's not yoga thing, but it's like similar thing that's gonna put your mental and like, align with, I don't know, it's not physical, but like if you walk to like, in a park, it's also physical, but it's not yoga. But, what healthy habits that you see most often? Like people.
Habits? What kind of habits?
Like
my habits or just in general?
In general. As you are a life coach, so, you do observe people and see and listen to them.
So the healthy habits that I see individuals have would be healthy boundaries. Like having boundaries with themselves. Routines. They have structure. So those are the healthy habits that they have that's on their own.
Many people are struggling with loving themselves. What does healthy self-love actually look like?
Healthy self-love looks like, I always say, knowing who you are. Like, because a lot of times, if you don't know who you are, people could tell you, and then you believe it, right? And then is that self-love if you believe what other people tell you are? So healthy self-love is creating your own narrative, knowing your qualities, your morals, your values, because that is your foundation. If you don't have a foundation, you're going to be wavering around this world. People going to tell you green, blue, you're going to be just going with it. But if you know what, this really don't align with who I am, it's not a good fit, and it's okay, that is healthy self-love. Setting healthy boundaries and communicating effectively, that's self-love. You have to be able to communicate your needs and your wants. Setting healthy boundaries with people around you, structure with yourself, and knowing sometimes you have to put yourself in line, right? Because I'd be like, who's the boss? Me? Because if I don't tell myself to sit down, I'll be, so sometimes you have to check yourself. So what I always say is daily check-ins. That helps too. Daily check-ins with yourself saying, okay, what is my mood? How do I feel? Am I irritable? Am I moody? Am I happy? What are your intentions for that day? Sometimes people just leave a fleeting life, but be intentional about every day, like life, like time just goes. Like every single time I'm like, can we stop going into another month? And another month keeps happening. Yes. And then we're already in 2027. I'm like, how did I get here? So that's why I say.
We just started the year, like, moving so fast.
Yeah. So I always say live every day intentionally. That helps with self-love too. And also hobbies. Like, what do you like to do with your life? Like, what do you want to do?
For you, not
for you, only you.
Like, that's kind of when you.
And it's okay to say no too.
Yeah.
It's okay to say no.
And
or not right now.
Yeah. And also you have to respect your no too. Your no is a no.
Yeah.
So this is how you can set up your boundaries, like you said, your healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to set like, today is your day. I will let you talk.
No, you go ahead, talk. You're free.
Okay, so how do you protect your peace while you're serving other people?
Let go and let God. So if it's out of my control, I let it go. If it's out of my control, if there's nothing I can do about it, it's above me now. Because I'm not going to let it stress me out because there's nothing I can do. Why stress over things you cannot control?
You cannot control, yeah.
And that's why I tell my clients all the time, like, I have my younger clients too. I deal with kids and adults, and my kids are like my favorite. And sometimes they'll like have siblings and they'll be arguing, but they did this, they did that. But sometimes it's out of your control. Did you do everything you can? If so, it's okay, right? So it's just knowing when to accept And I call it my radical acceptance.
That's really true. So, like you said, for you, like as you were a life coach, empowerment coach, so what is becoming means to you?
I feel like becoming means it's just a journey, right? Because you're always going to want to become a better version of yourself. So becoming is just in that moment, who are you, right? What do you want to do? And it's okay for changes. And that's called the experimental approach of life, is where you allow yourself to have the freedom to explore what you want in this one life that we have. And it's okay if it doesn't go the way you plan. It's okay if you get rejection. At least you put yourself out there. So, yes.
Yeah, I think people like the thing that they are afraid of is like rejection. So sometimes they feel like if you say no to them, and it's like they don't feel comfortable about it and they don't want to talk to anyone or asking for help or anything like that. So like you said, do you think that everybody like was struggling with their mental health or anything, like they need a coach?
If they're struggling with their mental health?
Yeah.
If you are struggling, I always say get support and help. Just like we do on our physical ailments. If you have a cold, you have, a virus or bacteria, you don't try to go on YouTube and figure it out on your own, right? Or if you're a plumber or a surgeon, right, you're not going to do surgery on yourself. You go to the proper professionals to get the help and the guidance that you need, because sometimes you don't know everything, and that's okay. A wise person wants to know nothing at all. So I choose to be a student of life, because that allows me to be open-minded and I can always learn. That means I'm going to always grow until I'm like 99, 100 or, below ground. So I'm going to always be open. And sometimes my kiddies teach me things too. But if I'm not open to receiving it, that's like a moment that can help me or another person as well. So I'm always open.
Even from a kid,
yeah,
you can learn something.
Yes,
yeah,
always there.
Be open, and yeah, that's true. So, like, can you tell us like how the services that you offers in?
Yes, so the services that I offer are the one-on-one coaching, so personal development, career, matchmaking, dating. I partner up with a healthcare physician. So we have like med spa and also primary care services. So IV hydration, eye lipo laser, and weight loss and nutrition. And also corporate workshops. So, boosting the morale of, your company and your business, and everything health and wellness. So if you want like a life enhancement, then come to me. If you want your whole life uplifted, uplifted, then this is the place to be.
Yes. As you empower women, so can you, like, what is something that you're gonna leave all the women that gonna listen to that?
I would leave off is, this was a tough one, is to allow yourself to live a free life. Start loving yourself more, learning who you are, your morals and your values, so you don't be in relationships that are not serving you a purpose. Just finding yourself. I think that's the most important thing in life, is to find yourself, because once you start to find yourself, things start unraveling and doors start to open. But if you don't have a direction and you don't know where you're going, sometimes sometimes you might feel stuck, right? Or like, okay, is this going to be the rest of my life? And I want to let you know, this does not have to be the rest of your life. You can make a change. So that's a quote or like a tip that I would love to share.
Yeah, that's a, but you, right?
Pardon?
The change. I said you're gonna.
Yes, and the change always starts by you. Like if you don't make the change, there's no change. And if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're gonna get the same results. So start by doing something differently. And it takes about that baby step we talked about. Just the baby steps. And also, thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast virtually.
You're welcome. So, as you listen to our
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. As you guys listen to our coach. And so, This is what Dolly do in life. Also this is what the podcast is for, helping others. And so as you listen to other stories and what can I say, that you take time for yourself, you listen to what others have to overcome to become who they are right now, so you can also see something like based on your journey and know that where you stop, you're not staying there forever. So you have to move forward. And also we are here to support you. I say we have sad story too, but we keep moving. And now this is where we are right now. So we are open to talk. Like we say examples, like for me, started to having some event, like to help you guys having time with yourself and go to a state of healing. So this is what my podcast is for, like my foundation is for. This is what I'm working for, and also have like the like good thing coming in for you guys, and
Yes.
soon you're gonna see
Can't wait.
it. Yes, you have to see it. So yeah. It was conversations that build. I hope you take time to listen to all those conversations. It's gonna help you. And see you next time. Bye.